Hello, and thank you for joining me, Shanny Leigh. I am on the terrace of my beautiful apartment in Barcelona, so hopefully the sound of the city won't be too overwhelming. I've been wanting to film here for a while, but there's always a lot of noise, so we'll see how it goes. And this will be a nice power flow focused on the sun salutations and a Vinyasa flow and on the various warrior poses. So I like to call it my sun warrior Vinyasa flow with a little bit of balanced practice in Virasana and eagle pose at the end. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the mat. So we're going to get started here today in Tadasana pose at the top of our mat. Settling in here, grounding through the feet, spreading the toes, finding where you feel equally balanced on both sides. Hands gently by your hips, shoulders move away from ears. Maybe you close your eyes or maybe you gaze gently ahead of you. We'll take a moment here to center ourselves, to connect. Breathing in and out, deepening the breath. One more round here in stillness. And exhale, slide out. And I invite you to start finding gentle movement in the body. Maybe you start moving your neck, drawing circles with the chin. Or maybe you move into the shoulders. Maybe you start swaying a little bit side to side. Starting to loosen up into the body. If you feel like you need to loosen up a little bit more, you can always pause this video and take a few extra stretches. Otherwise, we'll all warm up together via sun salutation, the Surya Namaskar. So take one more moment here, connecting with yourself, and we'll start with a little vibration. I've been really getting into vibration, healing, and energy lately, so just start to slightly bounce the body around. This is why we have our eyes closed, so we don't worry about how we look. Sometimes it can feel a little ridiculous. But there's a lot of interesting studies on like shaking and vibration therapy for trauma or for grounding. So we'll just take a few seconds here. And shake it all out. Maybe like you're flicking water from your fingers. And settle in here. Maybe bring a smile to your face. Breathe in, breathe out. And we'll start to flow. Slowly start to open up your eyes. And on your next inhale, arms reach up into the sky. Maybe you want to lock your fingers. Pushing the palms up into the sky. And exhale, bow forward from the waist. Crown of the head reaches towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. If you need to have your hands on blocks or right under knees, you can. And then bend your knees, plant your hands, and we'll step it back just for this first round, easing into it. Hold here in plank, waking up the core. If you need, you can drop your knees, but try to keep a nice long spine. One more round of breath here. And then inhale, start to lean your weight forward. Keep your elbows in as you lower all the way down to the ground. Untuck your toes, roll your shoulders back. Elbows draw into your chest. As you lift slightly here in Cobra pose. Exhale, slide out. Start to push your body up. Being on your knees first, tuck your toes, and we'll find our way into downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, maybe pedaling out the feet, slowly starting to wake up the body. And we'll continue on. On the inhale, start to come onto your toes. Bend your knees, exhale, look forward, and you can step or hop your way up. Inhale to halfway lift, finding your Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow it forward. Uttanasana, ground down through the feet. Rise up, arms reach into the sky. Urdhva Hastasana, big stretch. Exhale, hands come to heart center, Samastiti. So we'll do that 4 more times. And so you can stay on your knees. You can do the lower version, like the lower to the ground version, or we'll slowly be adding up into upward facing dog and the full chaturanga. So inhale, arms reach up into the sky. Exhale, bow it forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, and maybe step or hop your way back, moving into your chaturanga maybe this time, or you're still on your knees. Untuck your toes, drop your hips, let them touch the earth as we find a rising cobra, or you can be on the ground in baby cobra. Inhale, and downward facing dog. Exhale, taking your time to get there if you need. One round of breath here. Exhale, side out. And moving up again. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop your way up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow it down. Inhale, reach up into the sky. Exhale, hands heart center. 3 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pour. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find your way into your chaturanga. Maybe this time we keep our hips lifted, finding upward facing dog. And on the exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale the breath here. Exhale, side out. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop. Halfway lift as we breathe in. And bow as we breathe out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, center. 2 more times now. Breathing in. I won't guide it. Choose your version. And we'll all meet through our flows together as we see fit. One more time. Finding our way to our feet. Maybe starting to feel the body warming up. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, last Surya Namaskar. Reach up into the sky. Bow it forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And we'll stay here in our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a moment. Pedal your feet. Move as you see fit, as you need. One more round of breath here. And settle into stillness. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up into the sky. Bend your knee, open up into your hip. Scorpion leg your dog. Try to keep your chest square to the mat. And we'll start to take some hip circles. Moving the knee 3 times in one direction. And then 3 times in the other direction. Coming back to settle into your scorpion leg dog. Big stretch. And exhale, we'll step our foot all the way through, keeping our back heel off the mat. Arms rise up on the inhale, Anjaneyasana. Settle in here. One more round of breath, and then we'll find some cactus arms. Exhale, drawing your elbows in towards your spine, opening your chest, and breathe in, extend up. Twice more. Exhale, cactus. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, and now we'll put our back heel down about 45 degrees to find our warrior 1, Virasana Uno, first warrior of the flow today. Breathe in here. One more round of breath. And exhale, hands reach behind your back. If you can find a clasp between your fingers, otherwise grab somewhere on your forearms, and everyone will open our chest together. Breathing in here, and then exhale, bow it forward, finding fluid movement. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow. One more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, bow, and we'll settle in here to humble warrior, Baddha Virabhadrasana. So if you want, you can keep your chest lifted, or you can use your front leg like a little shelf, whichever option serves you. One more round of breath here. And then imagining that our fingers are pulling us up. Lift the torso, release the hands, breathe in as your arms reach up into the sky, and we'll find our warrior 2. So back heel now down at 90 degrees, arms come out into T, looking over your front fingers. Virabhadrasana 2. Settling in here. One more round of breath. Exhale it out. And then inhale, drop your back hand. Other arm reaches up into the sky, finding a reverse warrior, and we'll flow to extended side angle. Exhale, front elbow comes to front knee, as now we extend our left hand overhead. Twice more. Inhale, flow back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Once more, inhale. And exhale. And now we'll stay for a little bit in both. Reach it up as you breathe in, finding your reverse warrior or humble warrior. I mean, not humble, peaceful warrior. One more round of breath. And exhale back to our extended side angle, holding here. It's okay if you fall a little bit, losing your balance. If you want to intensify this, you can always fly or float your bottom hand, whichever you feel like doing, for one more round of breath. Exhale, side up. Coming back to warrior two. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, use your back hand to spin everything back to the front, lifting your back heel, finding your lunge. And exhale, hands come to the mat. Move through your vinyasa flow. Very good. Inhale here. And exhale. Coming to the tops of our mats, lift your heels as you breathe in, bend your knees, gaze forward, step or hop as you exhale. Halfway lift, fold it forward. Rising all the way up, arms reach up into the sky. And exhale, hands come heart center. Take a round of breath here. We'll give our legs a little bit of a rest and start working into the arms for our eagle pose later. So as you're ready, arms lift up into the sky. And we're going to cross our right elbow over our left, or if that doesn't work, to find the full eagle arms, you can give yourself a little hug. So finding whatever works for your body. Inhale, everyone lift your elbows up, bending your low back. And exhale, draw your elbows in. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Come back to center, release the arms, stretch up into the sky, and moving back through our vinyasa. Exhale, bow it forward to do the other side. Halfway lift as you straighten your back. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step or hop, and move through your flow. And we'll all meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. One round of breath here. Exhale, side out, and coming to the other side, ground in the right foot, left leg rises into the sky. Bend your knee, dropping your foot towards your glute, open up into the hip. Try to keep your chest relatively square to the mat. It's okay if your heel is not touching the floor, and we'll find our circles 3 times in one direction, paying attention to how the body is working to stabilize us. And the other way. Settling back into our scorpion leg dog, and we'll step our foot all the way through. Exhale, rising up into Anjani Asana, crescent lunge. Taking a second here, catch your breath, and finding our cactus arms. Exhale, open our heart to the sky. Inhale, lift our arms back up. Exhale, open chest. Inhale, reach. Exhale, invite to shaking. Inhale. And now setting our back heel down 45 degrees to find our warrior one. Settle in here just a moment. And exhale, hands come to find your clasp behind your back, whether that's grabbing your forearms or interlacing your fingers. Open your chest. And exhale, bow it forward. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And we'll fold here in humble warrior. Again, you can use your front leg as a little stool if you want, or you can keep it lifted. Try to ground down through your heel more than your toes, releasing any strain or grip. And exhale, release your hands to lift everything back up as you breathe in, and we'll open up into our warrior two. Vajrasana 2 now, looking over our front fingers, shoulders melt away from your ears. Back heel down at 90 degrees. Exhale, side out. Breathe in and breathe out. And now we'll move through our flow. Breathe in to find your reverse warrior. Extended side angle, breathe out. Breathe in, extended side, or reverse warrior. And breathe out, extended side angle. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Now stay in a little bit in each. Lift it up to the sky. Stay here in your peaceful warrior. Maybe you smile. Maybe you look up to the sky. It's kind of bright to do that, so I have my eyes closed. And exhale, front elbow to front knee, extended side angle. So again, if you want to intensify this, you can float your bottom hand either out in front, or as if you're reaching forward, maybe like holding a ball of light, whichever you want. For one more round of breath. Exhale it out. And we'll come back into our warrior two. Inhale. And exhale here. And now using your back hand to spin everything back to the front, high lunge. And we'll move through our flow, bending forward, planting our hands, moving through chaturanga, our vinyasa, and meeting in downward facing dog. Breathe in here and breathe up. Lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze forward, exhale, step or hop to the tops of your mats. Breathe in as you halfway lift, finding a flat back. Breathe out as you bow it forward. And rising all the way up, hands reach up into the sky. And come heart center. So now stretching out the other arm, arms reach up towards your ceiling or sky, and this time we'll cross the left elbow over the right, either giving ourselves a little hug or finding our eagle arms, whichever works for you. Breathe in, everyone lift your elbows. Breathe out, everyone bring it in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to center, inhale, release your hands, and moving right back into our flow. Bow it forward, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Chaturanga your way through your vinyasa, either through cobra or upward facing dog or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, meaning an Adho Mukha Svanasana. And now we'll add on to that just a little bit. Inhale, right leg lifts up into the sky, and we'll bring our knee into our chest as we shift forward into a plank 3 times. So exhale, find a plank, knee into chest. If you need to drop your back leg, that's okay. And extend it out again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, come here, and now hold. And we're going to cross our ankle over our left knee as we push ourselves back into a downward facing dog, this time with 4 square legs. Enjoy the stretch here. One more round of breath. Exhale, side out. Coming back into our plank, move forward, hover your knee, hold here. Really waking up into the core, and step your foot all the way through. Rise up, inhale into our lunge, and we'll go quickly now through all of that what we just did. So inhale here, and exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach up, drop your back heel. Exhale, warrior one. Inhale, drop your hands, find your clasp. Exhale, inhale, open the chest. Exhale, bow it forward. Inhale, lift back up, arms reach up into the sky. Open, exhale to your warrior two. Inhale here, exhale, side out. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, this time we're going to drop our hand all the way to the inside of our front foot, finding an extension here. So if this is too deep, you can have your hand on a block or find the extended side angle again. Or if you want to intensify this, you can drop your shoulder to the level of your knee and find a bind behind your back. So finding whichever version works for you. Breathing in here for one more round of breath. Exhale, slowly release the bind if you have it. Inhale, we'll all lift up back into warrior two. Exhale here. And now inhale, start to lift your hands up into the sky as you turn both toes, sets of toes to the long edge of your mat. And hands to chest, Exhale, start to bend into your back leg. Inhale, come through center. Bending now into your front leg. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend into your back leg and stay here for Skandasana. Maybe you lift your front toes. Maybe you find something in the arms. If you need to lift your heel and sink further, you can. Whichever you want to play with. One more round of breath. And we're going to come right back into our Anjaneyasana lunge, pushing it forward, spinning everything to the tops of our mats. Reach up into the sky. And exhale, move through your flow. Exhale, side out. Breathe in as we open our chest. And breathe out as we lift our hips. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze forward. Come to the tops of your mats. Ardha Uttanasana. Uttanasana. Breathe in, rise up. And exhale, hands, heart, center. So now we'll play a little bit with balance, slowly moving into our eagle flow. So last time we worked the arms, this time we'll work the legs. Find balance in your feet, putting your weight in your left foot. Start to lift your right knee up into the sky, adding the arms if you want. And then we'll cross our ankle over our knee like we did in downward facing dog. And now you can stay here, or you can sit your hips back as if you're going into Utkatasana chair pose. Breathing here. Again, finding a smile if you can. Exhale, side out. One more round of breath here. Invite the shaking, invite the sweat. And inhale, reach it back up, find your staff pose. Exhale, everything down to the mat. Moving through our flow. Inhale, reach up into the sky. Doing all that on the other side. Exhale, hands plant. Shine your chest forward. And move through your Vinyasa flow. We'll all meet in downward facing dog, and now come to the other side. So now ground down through your right foot. Inhale, left leg lifts up into the sky, moving into our plank, hovering our knee into our chest. Exhale. Twice more. Inhale, extend. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now finding our four square legs on the other side, crossing ankle over knee, pushing our hips back towards our downward facing dog. One more round of breath here. Exhale, side out. Inhale, come back into your plank with your knee hovering. Hold here for just a second. And then step your foot all the way through. Rise up, crescent lunge. Breathe in here. Cactus the arms, breathe out. Breathe in. Drop the back heel, 45 degrees. Breathe out, settle in. Breathe in. Exhale, hands behind your back, breathe out, find your bind. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, lift back up, release the hands. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale. Reverse your warrior, inhale. And exhale, either find your extended side angle or plant your hand on the inside of your front foot and either stay here or maybe you drop your shoulder to the level of your knee and you find your bind if that's in your practice. Breathing in here. Again, maybe you smile. You can look down, you can look straight, really wherever your heart desires. This flow is all about finding our inner warrior, finding our inner power, our inner strength. One more round of breath, connecting to nature through our mountain and eagle poses. Exhale, if you have the bind to release. Coming back into warrior two, lift it up. Exhale, side out here, invite the shaking. And now we'll turn our toes towards the long edge of the mat. Arms reach up into the sky. Hands come to heart center. And we'll bend towards now the back of our mat again. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Front of your mat bend. Inhale. Bend towards the back of your mat. I'm probably opposite of you, and that's okay. And either stay here or drop completely. Maybe you lift your toes, just finding Skandasana on the other side. Now you can do anything you want with the hands here. You can dance, you can find a fun flow, you can try to look cool, right? Instagram influencers, just kidding. Whichever you need. One more round of breath. And we'll move right fluidly back, or maybe not so fluidly, however you need to get back into your Anjaneyasana. And hands come to the mat and move through your flow. Meeting together here in downward facing dog and coming to the tops of our mats. Lift your heels, bend your knees, gaze forward, step or hop. Halfway lift, bow it forward, and reach up into the sky. And hands come to your chest. And now we'll do our four-legged or four square legs on the other side. So find your weight in your right foot. Find staff pose, and he'll reach up. If you want a little extra, cross your knee over, or cross your ankle over your knee. Hands come back to your chest. And maybe you stay here, and maybe you sit your hips back as if you're in chair pose. Taking a few rounds of breath here. One more round of breath. And then inhale, reach it back up into staff and drop it down to the mat. And now we've got one more flow each side. Inhale, arms lift up into the sky. Exhale, bow it forward. Halfway lift. Vinyasa flow. Finding our way to downward facing dog. And now this time we'll start on the left leg again. You'll see why. So inhale, left leg lifts up once more. And this time we'll step it right through our hands. Exhale, stay here. Start to lift your chest away from your knee. We're going to come into our standing splits. Exhale your breath out here. And inhale, lift your right leg into the sky. Opening your chest as if you are in cobra pose. If you want to have blocks underneath your hands, you can. Standing splits here. And if you feel stable, now slowly start to lift your chest off the mat and fly your hands to find warrior three. So maybe your hands are by your side, maybe they're out in front, maybe they're back, whichever you prefer. Just breathe through it. And we're going to come straight from this up into staff pose. So as you're ready, start to push your hips forward as you bring your knee through, arms reach up into the sky. And we're going to move right into eagle pose from here. So cross your right leg over your left knee, maybe finding a hook. And now we'll cross left elbow over right and sink down. If that doesn't work, you can find something in the arms, you can find the four square in the legs, but otherwise try to find your eagle pose. Garudasana, holding here, inviting the shake. One more round of breath, and reversing through that unwind into staff. Fly back, warrior three. It's okay if you fall like I just did. I was getting a cramp in my foot. Exhale, hands come to the mat, standing splits. Open your chest, and maybe you jump back one-legged chaturanga if you want. Otherwise, move through your flow, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Breathe in here. Invite the shaking. And now doing the other side, right leg lifts up into the sky. Stepping our foot right on through, exhale. Ground down here, maybe your hands start to come up right in front of your foot. Breathe in, breathe out. And lift up into the sky for standing splits. And then from here, if you want, lift your chest up completely, fly your hands, find your warrior three. You can play with something in the hands if you want. Invite the shaking, one more round of breath. And we're going to come right into our staff pose. Push your hips forward as you bring your knee up and through, cross one knee over the other, wrapping your foot around, and now cross right elbow over the left, finding eagle pose. Inviting if you fall over. The harder I kind of squeeze everything together, the easier the balance is. One more round of breath. Unwinding the staff, flying it back, warrior. Invite the shaking, fight for balance. And exhale, hands come to the mat. Standing splits, inhale, maybe one-legged hop back and move through your last vinyasa flow here. Big exhale out. And slowly drop your knees to the mat. Exhale nice and wide. Untuck the toes, touching the big toes together. Sink your hips back. Virasana, child's pose. Connecting back with who we really are at our center. Personally, I feel like my journey this last year, I'm turning 30 soon, and this last year I feel like I've really been reconnecting with who I was at my essence as a child. And I've talked to other friends about that, right? Like maybe so much of our adult life is just reconnecting with who we were as a kid before, you know, social norms and all of that trying to mandate who we were and shape us into a system. So reconnecting to that version of you here in child's pose, right? But this flow is ultimately about power, about connecting with our inner warrior, connecting with the symbol of an eagle of flight and strength. Part of my journey this last year has also been reconnecting with my power and learning how to not give it away so easily to others. So one more round of breath here. And we'll slowly start to roll the body up, bringing the knees together. Last posture, stretching our hands out, maybe moving our knees back. Dropping just our chest now into extended puppy dog, Uddiyana Shishosana. Like I feel a lot of times I joke that my spirit animal is a dog because I just want to like play and have adventure and have fun. And I was talking with a friend the other day about this, and he said, yes, but a dog also knows like how to fight back. Because a lot of times when I say I'm a dog, I feel like I give up part of that power in me of just this dog that's just waiting for its master, waiting for someone to throw the stick, waiting, you know, to go on a walk. And I think it was a realization of like, yes, but dogs also protect themselves and their energy. So finding that balance between giving love and protecting my power and my space. One more round of breath here. And slowly start to bring everything back up. Make any sounds you need. And we're going to sit our hips back into Vajrasana pose, hero pose. So your knees can be together, or if it works in your body to have your feet apart and sit your hips down in between. Whichever is better for you. Closing our eyes here, settling our hands onto our legs. We are all our own heroes in our own stories, and I think it's important to remember that. Not in an egocentric way, but just realizing that because we are egocentric, because everything is in our head, because our experiences, how we live it ourselves and how we perceive it, that we have a lot of power mentally to change our story, to be in control of our story, even if that's just controlling how we react to the things that we can't control. And we are all our own protagonists in our own adventure. So one big breath in here, sigh it out, exhale, maybe open your eyes. And thank you for joining me here on this beautiful day in Barcelona on my terrace, well, not my terrace, but the terrace of my building. And I hope you all work to live your own story, your own adventure, be your own hero, and find your own power, while still remembering to give love to yourself and others. Thank you for joining me. The light in me loves the light in you. Namaste.